Good day everyone. I am John Lloyd Mangaron and I am the first presenter of the Group 2. Our topic is all about information control and privacy. So for this presentation, I will be discussing information control and privacy, which are essential concepts in managing data and digital resources in today's technology-driven environment. So when we say information control and privacy, what does it mean? Or unsay mahunahunaan nato kung when we say about information control and privacy? So example ani is when we protect our personal accounts with password, we are already applying information control and privacy. So for example sa ato ang Facebook account, the moment nga magbutang taog password, we are already practicing privacy in that way nga nagbuhat ta og password. Or for example sa cellphone ako magbutang ko og password, so dili maka-access ang laing tao if wala sila kabalo sa ako ang password sa akong cellphone, so dili sila maka-open. In that way gina-emphasize na nako ang privacy. So for the learning objectives, at the end of this chapter, students should be able to first distinguish physical versus conceptual resources. Second, identify characteristic of information as a resource. Third, analyze information overload. Fourth, explain key points of intellectual property code under RA 10372. And number 5, highlights importance of information control and privacy. This passage presents the ideas of Thomas Jefferson about the nature of ideas and ownership. So when someone shares an idea publicly, others can also use and develop it. He also explained that ideas cannot be exclusively owned once they are shared. For example, when a teacher shares a knowledge in class, all students can use the idea. And he also compared ideas to fire or air because they spread freely. So once a concept is posted online, it can easily spread to many people. He also emphasized that legal systems are needed to protect invention. So for example, is patents. Patents are used to protect invention from being copied without permission. Discussion questions. What is your understanding of exclusive property? How did Thomas Jefferson view an idea as non-exclusive property? Can an idea ever become exclusive? How? Number 4, do you agree with Jefferson? Why or why not? So I will explain. I will answer the question number 1 is. So for the question number 1, what is your understanding of exclusive property? Exclusive property. Example, a student can share their opinions about whether ideas should be owned or shared freely. Then number 2, how did Thomas Jefferson view an idea as non-exclusive property? For example, student may explain that exclusive property means only one person has control over something. It also asks if ideas can become exclusively and whether we agree with Jefferson's view. Next is K acronyms and digital terms. So K acronyms in information control and privacy. First is BSA or Business Software Alliance. It is an organization that promotes legal software use. So example for example, si BSA ang trabaho niya mo action siya against companies nga nagagamit og pirated software like crack Microsoft apps. Next is the CSS or the Content Scramble System. Is a technology used to protect DVDs by encrypting their content. So ang trabaho ni CSS, for example, ang movies sa DVD dili basta makopy kay nakaprotect sila gamit si CSS or the Content Scramble System. Next is the digital rights management is a system that controls how digital content is used and shared. So ang trabaho niya, for example sa Netflix, dili ka basta maka-download or maka-share kay naa si digital rights management protection. Next is DVD versatile disk. It is a storage device used to store digital files like videos and music. So ang trabaho niya before, ang mga tao nagagamit og DVD para motanaw og movies sa DVD player. Muna trabaho ng DVD para murag mo store siya og, for example, nakay tape ay nakay katong nakay kuan kanang atong murag plato-plato. Moto imong gamiton para makatanaw kag salida, makapaminaw kag audio, video, ngana. The next is IPR or the intellectual property rights. Are legal rights that protects creation links, music, invention, and design. So, ang trabaho niya, for example, ang singer na ay rights sa iyang kanta ug dili pwede gamiton without permission. So, the moment nga na ay mo gamit sa iyang kanta without permission to the rightful owner, pwede mo demanda si rightful owner og copyright sa katuang taong nigamit sa iyang music. Next is the non-disclosure agreement or NDA is a contract that prevents sharing a confidential information. So example, ang employees mo sign og NDA para dili nila i-share ang company secrets. So kasagaran may tabo ni sa mga patents o sa mga patents. Next is NFC or the Near Field Communication is a wireless technology that allows devices to connect when close to each other. So example ani pag tap nimo sa phone sa payment terminal para magbayad sa NFC, para magbayad na ka sa NFC na siya, sa NFC. So another example is kana kung kuan sa sa another example is kuan kining magbayad ka through GCash, QR code imo ang gamiton. Then scan nato nimong QR code, makakuan na ka, makabayad na ka dito, maka-transfer na ka sa kuan sa imong payment. Next is PM or private message is a direct message sent between users that is not public. So asa na to magamit si private message? Common si private message sa kuan Messenger. For example, mo direct kag chat sa imong instructor, sa imong friend, sa imong family, peers, lovers, nga na exclusive lang sa inyong duha ang inyong conversation. So that is private message. Next is the conceptual resources. It is a non-tangible asset considered valuable for what they represent. Example, knowledge, skills, data. So from the word itself, for the definition is non-tangible. So mga non-tangible, muna yung mga dili na to ni siya magunitan. Pero it consists of mga valuable ni siya. For example, sa skills. Ang skills, for example, na skills ang employee sa coding. Dili nimo literally nga magunitan or physical appearance ang kuan kining conceptual resources, pero considered siya as valuable. For example, ano yung mga data, then knowledge, considered as valuable sila and dili sila magunitan. Next is copyright. Copyright is a set of exclusive rights granted by a state to the creator of an original work for a limited period of time. So si copyright, pwede nimo siya gamiton pero limited lang or exclusive lang. Exclusive rin siya or limited lang ang imuhang free time nga pwede ka mogamit sa kuan, mogamit sa kining invention sa lain. Example ani ang author sa book na ay right sa iyang work ug dili pwede basta kopyahon. Pero kung ang purpose naman is para sa educational purposes or research, example ng mga research kanang for study purposes kana pwede siya gamiton. Pwede siya gamiton pero temporary lang or limited lang ang time na i-grant sa imuha. So another example sa copyright, for example, ako nagbuhat ko og libro, then ako yung mag-decide kung either i-publish ba na ako ang book or dili. So wala makabuot sa kuha kay since ako man ang nagbuhat ato, ako man tong idea. Next is data scrambling is done to hide sensitive information from unauthorized users. So example ani ang passwords gina-convert into codes para dili mabasa sa hackers. So kasagaran ginagamit ni siya sa mga dagko na kampanya para dili masulod sa mga hackers. Next is digital rights. Digital rights pertain to the permission of individuals to legitimate use digital devices or networks. So, for example, is allowed ka mag-download og music legally kung naka-subscribe ka sa, for example sa kining for example is kining example Spotify. Spotify kung maka-subscribe ka sa pwede ka mo gamit sa Spotify pero limited lang na mga music mo magamit. Pero kung naman ay subscription, kung mabayad ka sa subscription, na ay privilege nga ihatag sa imuha which is maka-access ka atong mga kanta ng mga mga pasok sa imong taste. Next is facts are considered relevant truths which have been validated and identified. Example, ang population sa data gikan sa census kay facts, kay verified siya. So kanang mga data na makuha nimo sa sa mga research considered na siya as facts kay based on study man siya, based on science. Then next is information. So information, it refers to processed data. So example, ang raw score sa exam mahimong information kung gi-compute na into grades. For example, ang data mo na siya ang kailangan para mabuo si information. Kung sa field pa lang sa field sa criminology, kanang data mo na siya ang mga product na siya sa information. For example, naay data nga nakuha nimo nga ingani ang noun sa perpetrator ingana. So makakuha og data, mabuo nimong data, ang result na niya is information. Next is information control. Information control is allowed authorized individuals to access and use information based on their authority. Kining information control, ang maka-access lang katulang mga tao nga naay privilege nga makakuan. For example, sa example is sa tuang faculty, for example sa faculty, si dean nato siya lang ang pwede maka-access sa kanang mga records, nga mga secret na mga records ng mga important na mga information. So dili siya basta-basta mag-grant sa mga student. Kailangan pero ang ato ang dean is maka-access siya tungod kay naa siya tinatawag nato na power. Next is intellectual property or IP. Is a number of distinct types of intangible assets for which a set of exclusive rights are recognized. For example, naka-invention. Example sa mga invention is music o artworks. Kini sila, protected na sila under the intellectual property rights. Next is knowledge. Knowledge, it refers to a useful information. Example, ang experience sa worker mahimong knowledge nga makatabang sa trabaho. So example sa knowledge is gikan ang knowledge, makuha na to ang knowledge through experience. So kung naka-experience sa coding ingana, then ang kampanya need nila og na-experience nga may ingana, so pwede nimo gamiton ang imuhang knowledge para makatabang ka sa kampanya. Next is metadata. Metadata is used to identify the owner's name, author, and data of purchase, among others important information. So example, ang photo files na ay metadata nga naga-show kung kinsa ang nagkuha og kanusa. Next is the mobile commerce or m-commerce is the delivery of electronic commerce directly to consumers through wireless technology. Ang mobile commerce or m-commerce usually common ni siya karon. For example, ani is Shopee, Lazada, TikTok apps, mga TikTok any platforms na maka-order ka online. Next is a patent. Patent is a set of exclusive rights and granted by a state to an inventor for a limited period of time. So ang inventor, example ang inventor sa new machine na ay patent para dili siya makopya dayon. Kining patent, mura ni siya og ang patent is mo ni siya ang murag secret niya siya para mabuo ang isa ka invention. So protected ni siya. Protected niya ang dapat protektahan ning patent para dili basta-basta makapi sa competitor. It is given in exchange for the public disclosure of an invention. So example ang inventor kinahanglan i-share ang details sa invention para ma-protect legally. So kailangan niya makipag-coordinate sa government. Next is personal data. Data breach is a type of security breach that leads to unauthorized access or loss of personal data. So for example, kung ma-hack ang system ug makuha ang personal info sa users, ug makuha ang personal information sa users, mahitabo si personal data breach. Next is physical resources. Physical resources are tangible and can be easily identified. So example aning physical resources, example is computers, buildings, and equipment. So kay physical man, so makita ni sila og mahikap. So tangible ni sila ng mga resources. Next is scrambling. Scrambling is done by adding or changing signal components to make the original signals hard to understand. Example, ang TV signals gina-code para dili basta ma-access without permission. Next is security incidents is an event that may affect data protection or compromise confidentiality, integrity, or availability. So example is suspicious login attempt sa account kay concerning security incident. So for example sa security sa imong cellphone mo kuan nito na mag-notify din to nga naay nag-open sa imong account nya dili ikaw. So pwede nimo i-change ang password para ma-protect imong privacy. Next is software piracy is the unauthorized copying or distribution of copyright software. Example, pag-download og crack apps without paying is software piracy. Kini siya mahitabo ni siya kay example pareha sa kuan Netflix na mga salida sa Netflix na kailangan nimo og subscription. Nya kana may mga apps nga naga-offer og free. Then ang imong buhaton kay magdan-aw ra kag ads. That is software piracy. So ang kani pa software piracy, it can be done through copying, downloading, sharing, selling, or installing multiple copies of software. So for example, pag-share og installer sa friends without license is illegal. Next is trade secret. Secret is any method, formula, or device that gives a business advantage and is kept confidential. Example, ang secret recipe sa fast food company kay trade secret. So bawal na siya i-share. The moment nga i-share na siya niya, malik. Maka-face og legal sanction ang katong nag-shared atong patent. Next is introduction to resources. So organization treat company assets such as buildings, equipment, and manpower as important resources. So ang company ginavalue dyan na nila ang ilang mga employees ug mga machines kay mao ni ang ilang ginagamit sa operation. Resources, next is resources, are the total means available to a company for increasing production or profit, including land, labor, capital, and raw materials. So example, ang factory nagagamit og land workers, money ug materials para makahimo og products. So without resources, organization would cease to exist. So example lang, pananglitan, kung walay workers o materials, dili makaproduce ang company og products. So walay revenue nga mahitabo. So imagine nimo ha, imagine a bank without money, a manufacturing plant without forklifts, or a school without teachers. Unsaon man na pag-produce og product? Di ba? Imagine. So ang school dili gyud maka-function kung walay teacher nga magtudlo. So unsa may ma-learn sa student, di ba? So these resources are known as physical resources. So ang building ug equipment considered na sila as physical resources kay makita og mahikap man. So they are tangible and can be easily identified. So example sa computers, tables, so makita din mo na siya sa office, mga pen, mga ana. Next is physical resources. Usually start from acquisition and are then assembled to be available for use when needed. So ang company mupalit og materials ug assemble into final product. So for example, ang product sa company is kangkong chips or KFO ni kangkong chips original ni Josh Mojica, ingana. So ang mupalit for example, palit siya tangkong. Gamitin yung tangkong para makaproduce siya og ihang product which is katong chips niya nga kangkong chips. So very often the assembly process entails converting raw materials into refined forms such as food, cement, and steel for building construction. So for example, katong una na akong example katong tangkong or kangkong. So ang kangkong isa siya sa mga physical resources para makaproduce og product nga maibaligya sa market. Okay, next, conceptual resources are non-tangible and are considered valuable for what they represent rather than their physical makeup. So example is knowledge. Dili makita pero very important siya sa trabaho. And also money is considered a conceptual resources because each paper bill represents a specific monetary value. It is not about the paper itself, but the value it represents. The same idea applies to human resources. So, for example, ang employees sa company laylay og skills ug abilities. So, the higher the demand the skills, the higher the pay, or dako imong sweldo kung dako og demand ang imong skills, dako pud ka og sweldo. Pero depende na siya sa company. So employees are not all the same because their skills, knowledge, and experience make them different. So this is how we identify staff, manager, executive, and laborers. For example, ang HR makaila kung kinsa ang leader o kinsa ang staff based sa skills. Next is the interaction between conceptual and physical resources. So managers use conceptual resources to manage physical resources or vice versa. So example, computer in organization. So computer unit equal physical resources, costly hardware. So file save conceptual resources, data, documents, information. Importance, files can make the computer unit irreplaceable. Security measures, firewall, antivirus, biometric access to protect data. So managers use conceptual resources to manage physical resources or vice versa. So example ani, ang data gamiton para ma-manage ang paggamit sa machines. So one example is the use of computers in organization. So ang company nagagamit ang computers para sa work. So a computer unit by itself may cost a lot of money. So for example, ang laptop mahal kay hardware siya. However, the files saved inside the computer became more valuable. So example, ang important document sa computer mas valuable pa kaysa sa device. So tungod ani or because of this, computer becomes irreplaceable. So kung mawala ang files, lisod kayo i-recover bisan naa pa ang laptop. And the integrity of the files must be protected. So example, kinahanglan dili makorrupt or mawala ang files. The moment na mawala siya, dako ka siya og loss sa company. So that is why security measures are applied. So example, gamitan og antivirus o firewall para maprotektahan ang system. So this include firewalls, antivirus, and biometric access. So example is this includes firewalls. Example is fingerprint login para secure ang access sa computer. In this case, the files are conceptual resources and the computer is the physical resources. So ang files nga naa sulod sa computer, ang tawag niya is conceptual resources. Tapos ang computer naman, siya ang physical resources. So di bali murag vice versa lang ang ilang trabaho. Kailangan para mahimong valuable si conceptual resources, dapat isulod siya sa, for example sa data, isulod siya sa physical resources which is ang computer. So ang ilang trabaho vice versa lang. So in this case, the files, conceptual resources, and the computer is physical resources. So ang data mao ang important while ang device mao ang nag-store. So the same concept applies to smartphones. Sa atong mga cellphone, ang cellphone adunay stored data like photos and contacts. So kung mawala ang atong cellphone, then na dito ang atong mga personal data, for example sa eskwelahan, mga files na to, nako kana siya na loss sa tuwa. So ang data nga nasa sulod sa cellphone, ang tawag ana is conceptual resources. Ang phone itself, it represent the physical resources kay magunita na to siya, nasa tangible siya. So in both cases, these conceptual resources are called information. So example, ang stored data sa device kay ginatawag og information. Next is information as a resource. So information can be defined as a facts about something or someone that are provided or learned. So example, details about a person like name o job kay information. So for example, sa description pa lang sa tao, ang tawag na data. Pag mabuo na nimo ang data, ang result niya is information. So facts are considered relevant truths that have been validated. So ang census data kay facts kay verified siya. So based on science study. Data are raw facts. Example is sa data, exam sa students, that is data. Pag kuha na nimo tanang exam sa student, then ma-compile nimo, that is information na siya. Then process data becomes information kung gi-compute ang scores into grades, so mahimo na siyang information. So kung ang process data mahimo lang na siya og information kung for example ang grade sa student is gi-compute, then pag compute ning result ang grades or final grades, that is the product of information. So data siya nagikan, then ang product niya is information. So compared to data, ang information is more valuable siya kay ang data manggod di bali gi-compile ta ng data, then ang information is kuha na siya kanang murag refined na siya, murag siya na ang product sa data, ang information. So ang information mahimo na siya karong valuable. Next, let's proceed for the characteristic of information. So information is expandable. So pwede pa dungagan ang details sa information. So expandable information means more details can be added without losing its meaning. So pananglitan, ang simple profile mahimong full resume nga na. So pwede siya mahimong pwede siya nimo dungagan mag-add kag mga more data para mas mahimo siyang mas detailed pa jud. So more information helps better understanding. So mas klaro ang decision kung kompleto ang data. Next is information is also compressible. So pwede nimo i-shorten ang information or imong i-summarize. So meaning sa compressible information, it means that it can be summarized without losing important details. So example, ang long article mahimong summary. Well, sometimes detailed information is not always needed kay time consuming kay siya. So diri na to i-apply sa compressible information para mas ma-lessen na to ang consumption sa time. And that's for my topic. Thank you everyone.